Alright, welcome back to Flying with Overkill F-18C pilots. Today we are going to be continuing with the TGP. We're going to be looking at the JDAM JSOW operation in target of opportunity mode using the TGP, as well as the Maverick Foxtrot. Previously we went over the Echo and the laser guided bombs. Today we're going to be going over JSOW, JDAM, and Maverick Foxtrot, the camera. Okay, so pretty simple operation today, it really is. I already have our JSOW timing in. The only thing we need to do is set the electronic fusing to instant, as I continuously forgot previously, so we'll have to pay attention to that one today. But it's going to be really easy. I want to make a couple of adjustments to the previous videos that were brought to my attention. First off, we talked about how when we activate the FLIR and we make it our sensor of interest, that we should be able to tap it and change our track mode, right, from point to, and it's not going to let us right now because I have it caged and it's spamming around, but between area track and point track, and we couldn't do it on the AMPCD. We got confirmation on that. One of our viewers posted a link to the ED forums that you guys can find in that previous video. But long story short of it is that the FLIR, according to, sounds like the subject matter experts, should never be able to quote-unquote work on the AMPCD. So that's just sort of a perk of DCS, but it's something that's not supposed to be able to happen. The other thing we need to talk about is this guy here. This is a runtime in minutes and seconds, is my understanding from, again, a viewer that posted that in the previous channel. So thank you guys for the information. That is exactly what I want from this channel. That's kind of feedback I've been looking for all along, so keep it coming. I really enjoy that stuff, guys. So today, very simple stuff. We're going to come back on course here. We're steering for waypoint 2, our target area. Our JSOWs are ready to roll. Now the only catch here is we're going to have to make sure that we hit target of opportunity mode for each missile. So after we drop this one, we come back to, it'll obviously switch over to station 8. When it switches over to station 8, or actually I think it's 2, excuse me, switches over to station 2, we're going to have to come back and change that to target of opportunity mode again, and we'll verify that the fusing is correct, because yours truly, while testing this, forgot to set the fusing, and well, it makes a nice pretty dust cloud, but you know, the guys in the tank sat there and giggled at me. Alright, so we'll start with the JSOW and then we'll work our way over to the Maverick. So let's go ahead and steer us on course. We're just going to bring her around. We are well within range. We're at 17,000, almost 18,000 feet. So we have plenty of distance to work with here. It's not quite critical. Alright, so we do have a waypoint available. So we're going to go ahead and just sort of steer onto the general track. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Well, actually we're pretty bad there, so let's keep coming around. There we go. Steer us more or less. Oh, you know what it is? We're on the wrong side of the mountain. Hello, I'm retarded. Nice to meet you guys. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and level her out. I don't know why I'm flying like crap tonight, but don't judge. Alright, let's go ahead and set our barometric altitude. Next thing we're going to do is come down to our HSI and hit our weapon designate, as waypoint 2 is our target area. You can see our TDC has, or our TGP, there I go again, has now moved to the target area. Now I've already struck a couple things in testing. But I also have found that the TV mode, because it's so bright and green, it can be pretty hard to use for this particular method. So I like to switch it over to FLIR. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pan around and see if we can't find us a couple targets here. There's one right there. And this is where it gets really easy, guys. It's awesome. So we're going to switch us into our narrow field of view. I'm going to put us into point track, and you can see that the box has now come around the target. And all I'm going to do is hit our target designate button. So enter by default. Boom. Okay, it's been done. We can come up on the HUD. You can see the target has been assigned. We come over here to our JSOW, and if we just go to the mission display, there's the coordinates that we have just entered. Let her loose. Okay. So, oh, if I'm in air ground mode, that would help. There we go. Fire it off. Alright, so the weapon's gone. Now we're going to come over here and do the same thing with this one. We are in instant fusing, so we got that part done. Target of opportunity mode. Let's find us another target, as the JSOW is a fire and forget weapon. Let's go ahead and look for somebody else. Let's go back into our wide field of view for a minute. And there's one right there. Alright, so again, zoom in. You don't have to zoom in. I'm going to hit my target designate button. We can see that it has now changed. And pickle again. And the weapons are off. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw ourselves into an orbit here for a minute. And zoom back out. Let's track our weapons. try to put enough distance on where we can see them both. Let's speed up time just a hair. Wait for it. There's our target coming into view. Nice talking with you, buddy. Boom! Shack. Alright, and the other one already detonated, so I wasn't fast enough, but you can see that 2 of them were destroyed, so both targets were hit. Alright, so now that that's done, let's talk about our Maverick. So give me just a minute. I'm going to swing back around, guys, get some distance, and we'll talk Mavs. Alright guys, so I'm getting ready to turn back in. I want to talk about a couple of things that I forgot to mention. First off, I put this in point track on the TGP. That's not required. Okay, so wherever the TGP is pointing, that's the coordinates that are going to be transferred over. You don't have to be in point track. It's just, I find it to be, easier because the TGP locks onto the high contrast target. So something like you saw there, where a Jeep, a truck, something that stands out really, really brightly, it works a lot better. And the nice thing about that is when it locks onto it, let's say that truck was moving, the TGP would continue to track it. Okay, but it's not a requirement to use the JSOW to be in point track, or any of these methods for that matter. The other thing I keep forgetting to talk about is the undesignate button. So we've already shot the weapon. We've killed our target. You can see the target emblem down here on the HSI. Okay, so if I hit my nose wheel steering button, in my case my pinky button on the HOTAS, okay, now that's just the waypoint. It has no longer been designated as a target. The TGP is no longer looking at it. So all we have to do is recage it. Okay, so just things like that. Let's go ahead and bring it back around. We're going to go ahead and select our waypoint here again back on the HSI. And the Mav is just as easy, just as fast. Not a whole lot to it. And remember, this is the Foxtrot Maverick, so this is the TV guided Maverick. Alright, so we're steered onto our waypoint. Go back into barometric altitude. Let's go ahead and do a automatic throttle hold there for a second. Okay. Alright, so let's rinse and repeat the process. First off, let's go to weapon designate on the TGP. Let's go ahead and set us to our narrow field, or a wide field of view, excuse me. Let's find a couple targets. Those guys are already smoking. There's one right there. Alright, so now remember, as long as the Maverick is not selected, I can use my HOTAS button to change the field of view. But if I select the Maverick, okay, and we're going to go ahead and tap it again to bring up the TV screen, still have the TGP as SOI, but if I use that field of view button, it's changing on the Maverick. Remember I was telling you guys that the Maverick will always take precedence, okay? So if we want to change that, we just come up here and tap it up here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go into point track. There we go. And you can see the TGP sort of jumps around like that because it knows that it's already found something. We're going to hit our target designate button, so hitting enter, whatever you have it bound as, right? Now we're going to come over here, and as soon as I selected this as sensor of interest, it uncaged, and you can see that we are tracking the target. If you guys zoom in a bit here, you can see it just outside those. So we're just outside just a little bit, but nothing crazy. We'll just keep an eye on it for a minute. We're still out quite a bit. And we're still timing in, it looks like. So let's give it, there we go. Oh, time to max range. So we're in range. So now what we're going to do is just sort of, we're going to undesignate the target and then bring it over. So if it ever doesn't quite line up, it's still close enough. There's our lock, rifle. Okay, now what we're going to do is come back to our TGP. I'm going to hit weapon designate again. We're going to start moving it around, go into wide field of view. May be a little too close now. I think that's the same one we've already looked at. So I'll tell you what, let's come around one more time. We'll go ahead and watch this first bomb go in. First missile, assuming we haven't missed it yet. And there's the shack, so we just missed it. Alright, so I'll come around one more time, guys, and hopefully show you a better example of that. Alright, so we come back around. Let's go ahead and rinse and repeat. Weapon designate. I'm going to go ahead and select my sensor of interest here. Okay. There's a nice little juicy target. Set it to our narrow field of view. Okay, target designate. Now if we come over here to our Maverick, you can see it's right on it. So if you get in there too close, it does have an issue. If you're ever in that situation, you just need to undesignate the target quickly with your pinky button and then slew the Maverick manually. So we're quite a ways out still, so I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and speed up time just a bit because we're way too far to fire. When it says 99 time to max range, it means you're above 99 seconds to shoot. So let's go and push it down. So now we're starting to count down a bit. Let it get down to 10 there. Alright, so let's pause for a second. It does say time to maximum range, but it showed ready there for just a minute. So if you get the ready, you can shoot, but you can see it's sort of moved off target. So what I'm going to do right off the bat, let's see what it does here in a minute. It looks like it's lost the track. I'm going to go ahead and undesignate the target now and then move it back over manually. As long as it stays centered on the target, it should lock up automatically. Come on, baby, find it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pinch nose down a little bit. There it goes. And rifle. Okay, so the Maverick, it worked a lot better in my testing. It was able to just stay on the target, and what could have caused some of that was me speeding up the time. DCS tends to not actually be too crazy about it when we do that. I have found multiple things that cause an issue. Shaq, got that guy. But at the same token, it was kind of beneficial. You guys see how to adjust it when it does that. So just make sure that you undesignate the target when it's come off, because you can't move the Maverick slew as long as you have a target designated. Okay, so you need to undesignate the target, and then you'll be able to move the Maverick around as long as you have it as your sensor of interest. Now, the reason why I pitched nose down, remember that plus sign that you guys saw moving down the pitch scale on the Maverick screen? That's the Maverick camera angle in relation to the nose of the aircraft. If it gets too low, you can no longer slew it down low enough to lock the target. So that's why I said I'm pitching the nose down, is to give that camera angle more room to move. Okay. So those are a couple things that you can do to correct those kind of situations. It's still very, very awesome to that we have this ability now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like I said, I'm kind of glad you guys got to see those things and see how to correct them if they start happening to you, so that way you don't sit there and just fight with it and fight with it and fight with it. The second you notice that there's a problem, you know, make sure that you guys just undesignate the target and then slew it yourself. But it still is immensely helpful in getting your Maverick screen into the target area using the TGP. So as always, guys, if you liked it, please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell for future content if you guys want to continue to be able to watch these and get alerted from them. Leave your questions and comments below. Continue to offer in any information that I may have missed. That's a great help, guys. It helps everybody who's reading these. And as you guys hopefully know by now, that when it's information that I missed, I do my best to try to add it to the next video. That way people hear it. So stay healthy, stay safe. See you guys next time.